Hey, welcome back to Theo's Coffee Break podcast for the next episode here in season 4. Today, we're going to be talking about meetings that could have been an email. So I kind of want to touch more on the topic of what it looks and sounds like of being a person of value. And I believe that that is really highlighted in the kind of conversations that we decide to be a part of and what we decide to contribute to those conversations. And so today I'll be touching on the 3 main points for the best kind of conversational support. So you have these tools in your tools box or these tools in your toolbox for when you have your next conversation. And this is something that you can start doing today, and you will notice an immediate change in how people perceive you, but also in how you show up. So those 3 points are relevancy, valuable and reliable information, and kindness. So if this sounds like a conversation or a coffee break that you would like to be a part of and come listen to, head on over to Theo's Coffee Break. I have already decided on the title of this episode being Meetings That Could Have Been an Email. But we're not just going to be talking about the workplace, because conversations happen everywhere, right? In family dynamics, especially if there is some kind of misunderstanding or miscommunication. This could be conversations that parent between a child, conversations you have in the grocery store or with your partner, your spouse. I truly believe that this is something that we can all really benefit from, and it's not taking away from your authenticity. What this is allowing you to do is allowing you to lead your life and your conversations with value without sacrificing your reputation just to come off like the cool guy or the girl that knows it all. We all know those kind of people. And this is a quick fix to be able to get you back on track to leading a healthier life, making better choices, and the kind of conversations you decide to have. So I will see you over there for today's coffee break. And again, meetings that could have been an email. That's the title of this episode. See you there. Okay, turning off the phone, turning off the light, and coming back to you. So thank you for being here today for today's coffee break. This came up because I haven't been on my phone that much. I literally go on there if I have to like check emails or post stuff. I'm really not on my phone anymore because everything on social media is just like become irrelevant. There's a lot of irrelevant information being passed around, and there's way too much of it to where I really feel like I need to do a deep dive. And I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I really don't know what information out there is reliable at this time. Like, what's really going on? What's the truth? Because the truth can be subjective, and that's a scary place to be in, to where you're really questioning if what I'm hearing is true. Is really true. You know what I mean? So I was thinking back to my time at my former job, Fifth Third Bank, and how some of the meetings that we had, I was really bothered by, because it seemed like we were passing around the same information. And I had to cut out a part of my day to be a part of this meeting and make sure that I'm able to get there on time. And then I get there and it's like 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm already kind of like, that's irritating. Because I have like so many other things that need my attention. And I made time for this. And I was also thinking about some of the conversations that I used to be a part of, and how it kind of scares me that just because you're there, suddenly you said all of these things. You did all of these things, and you said this, that, and the other. And it's like, I was there, and I know I didn't. And so that is going to be the main focus today. And I'm breaking it down in those 3 points. Again, when we show up in conversation, these 3 simple tools, not hacks. These are not hacks. These are tools. And how we can show up as a person of value in conversation. They are, again, relevancy. Is what what I can, oh my God, I can't say this. Is what I'm saying contributing to the conversation? Is it relevant? Okay. I tend to be a long-winded person. If you know me, it's not because I like to talk. It's because my brain is always going. It's always going. And I find learning, especially about like emotional intelligence and mental health, the psych stuff, I find that to be really fascinating to me because it has such a deep impact in our health. Like literally, our bodies adjust to our emotional and mental health. So a lot of health concerns and stuff like that are probably associated with some kind of mental or emotional instability. With that being said, when we're thinking about relevant information, we want to make sure that we're able to be efficient, okay? Especially if it's a work meeting. If we're having an escalated conversation where things are getting heated, we definitely want to make sure it's relevant and we're being efficient. So leading to valuable and reliable information. Is what you are saying, is it adding value to the conversation? And is it reliable information? Or is it speculation? There are things that we see, all right? And I lead myself in the mindset of, I don't know what that person's going through. Okay? They could literally just be having a bad day. All right? And that person's trying to do the best they can to keep it all together without trauma dumping, without oversharing, without being messy. And they're just having a bad day. So, also, is it our place to talk about that? That's another thing too. So when we're talking about things, especially about other people, we need to make sure that it's valuable and reliable, but most importantly, the quickest way to be seen as a person that's reliable and someone you want to be around, choose to build other people up. Even if they're not in the room, choose to build that person up. Okay, nobody's perfect. Everybody's human. But I know for a fact, because of my own experiences, when I chose to build people up and support them without being like a brown noser, right? We're not pandering and we're not patronizing other people here. But when we're just like, hey, you know what? I've worked with him before. He's talented. He's good at what he does. He's just a unique person. Or he's a go-getter. You know? Finding other ways to describe somebody in a more positive light is definitely going to make you look like a really, really good person. And you're no longer going to be that person that's picked from the pack. You're just going to be a first choice because everybody always wants to be around somebody that knows how to build other people up with valuable and reliable information, and that makes you someone that they can count on. Okay? Which leads me to a mix of the first two things I just said in regards to relevancy and valuable and reliable information. Am I being kind when I say this? It requires a level of discernment to know whether or not it's time to chip in and put your 2 cents in. Sometimes, and this has only happened to me a handful of times, I spoke up because I did not like what I was hearing. I didn't like it. Because sometimes we get carried away in these conversations, the topic becomes exciting, and then it gets messy. And I feel like that we have gone off track of what we came here to talk about this, that, and the other. And it's not kind. It's a waste of time. And suddenly I feel like I'm on a reality TV show instead of among colleagues and peers that I respect, or family members that I respect. I've been rereading the book Messy Grace, and one of the things that book said is that if you are to be criticized for doing what Jesus would do. I'm going to say that one more time. If you are to be criticized for what Jesus would do. In the Bible, time and time again, Jesus has always been outspoken. He was the person who was doing the most, doing things that people didn't understand, spending 40 days and 40 nights in a desert, hanging out with the lowlifes, the people that, they're not the popular crowd. He was somebody that could talk to anybody and everybody because he chose to see them and met the conflict with an understanding that was rooted in love. To which I think is a great way to describe what kindness really is. That kindness is true strength because it's recognizing that humanity is much more important than you trying to be the know-it-all, than you trying to be the person that knows everything and anything about anyone. Trying to be the cool guy, trying to seem like the top dog. No. We need to remember that humbleness and humility, it comes from how we choose to show up. And so, with that, listening. Listening. Oh, was that ever the toughest thing I had to learn to do myself? Was that ever? But this is what I have learned from listening and how it's actually, if not more important, than speaking. So listen and think before you speak. There are a lot of things that can be said around you, but are these things relevant? Is it valuable and reliable information? Is it kind? If not, you probably don't need to say anything. You probably don't need to contribute to that conversation. Also, listening is a sign of respect. Because you're willing to submit to the other person and hear them out. I think a lot of us forget just how important it is to listen. Because oftentimes, if not, more than ever, a lot of us feel like we're not being heard. a lot of us feel like we're being misperceived. That there's some kind of miscommunication that's just not being there's some kind of miscommunication that's just not being addressed properly because there's a lack of listening. So just because you heard it before doesn't mean there isn't something to learn. Sometimes when the advice becomes repetitive, it means or it may very well be relevant for you to know. On the other hand, if there is bad information that's being passed around again and again and again, that is when you need to speak up and correct it, especially if you know the truth. I've said this in the past, but the truth is the light. So if the truth can destroy the lie or the lies, then let the lies be destroyed by the truth in light of its holy fire. Because here's the deal. Communication is key to a healthy and wonderful life. Communication builds trusted bonds and stronger connections in the workplace, family dynamics, and relationships. A lot of the marriage counseling or relationship tips, for your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever, they say a key to a long-lasting and healthy and happy relationship is communication. But I do believe that exceeds love or romance. It does carry over into family and the workplace. Because who doesn't love to talk to somebody that's a great communicator? Someone that can still be of value but knows how to make someone laugh. Someone knows how to listen when that other person on the other side of the conversation is hurting and just needs someone to talk to. Communication isn't just talking. It's sitting back and letting that other person know, I am willing to hold capacity for you at this time because I know you really need a friend. So, with that being said, all of those great things, listening, speaking, the last thing is, sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away. Knowing when to contribute to a conversation or even knowing how to choose your battles will benefit you in the long haul. Keep in mind, loose lips do sink ships, but a person of value knows how to build others up, even if they aren't in the room. There have been many times in my life where I've had to walk away from friend groups, family dynamics, jobs, because I just could not stand what was happening. And I am a person of value, and I know that who I surround myself with does affect me. In the episode, the nurturing episode, I would encourage you to go back and listen to that. Because oftentimes we're told that if you walk away, you're abandoning us. You're being selfish. You don't think about anyone but you. But if your back is always up against the wall, and you're around people that just aren't willing to understand, or even listen to you, or try to listen to you and understand where you're coming from, because they already have it in their mind that you're a certain kind of person, then absolutely. In letting go, you're choosing what's best for you because you know that you deserve better. You know that you deserve a life that is healthy and that you deserve to have people in your life who value you and your authenticity and what you have to bring to the table. Because I want to remind you today, you are enough. Just as you are. You don't need to do anything more, and the past is the past. Your shortcomings were then, but it doesn't mean that you have to continue living in those ways now. You can change that. And it starts with how you show up. So the very last thing is the way that we talk to ourselves is so important. Listening, speaking, discernment, all these things. Your self-talk and the way that you view yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you speak about yourself to other people is so important. So I want to leave you with this to bring it back to you. Are the things that you're saying about yourself, is it relevant? Or is it something that you can leave behind? The second thing, are the things that you're saying about yourself and sharing with others, is it valuable and reliable information? Chances are there are some things that you just don't need to talk about because it doesn't matter. Why do they need to know about that? Why do they need to know what's going on, like in every aspect of your life? Oftentimes, those kind of people, they don't have a life of their own. Sorry. But it's true. So they need to fill up their days and their time and what they talk about with other people. And that's not me. That's just not me. I don't do that. So in that, am I being kind? Kindness requires boundaries and clear communication. Again, we're not abandoning anybody, but we may need to let them go and find a different way for them to show up in our lives without cutting them off. Or maybe you do need to cut them off. Who knows? It's up to you. And I already know, just based off of this coffee break today, whatever you decide to do, starting now, will be the right thing. And I am so proud of you. So thank you for joining today's coffee break. If you want to help out in a free way, please rate this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. There is a way to donate to the coffee table so I can continue to create this great content for you. It's on buymeacoffee.com. Just look up Theo's Coffee Break Podcast. And lastly, as a person who has learned the hard way and took the long way around in learning all of this on my own, don't expect yourself to pick all of this up and just be able to execute it beautifully in one day. It takes time. So I encourage you to take this advice and find a way to implement it into what you're already doing by making your conversations 1% better every single time you have a conversation. Whether it's with another person, whether it's with yourself, maybe it's your dog or your cat or your houseplant. Whoever you're talking to, just try to make your conversations 1% better with these 3 great tools that I have given you to add to your toolbox. So until the next time, take care and be kind, and know that whoever you are and wherever you are always welcome here at our coffee table. See you at the next coffee break.